Hey y'all, it's Cindy. Here's another video that you will hopefully like and share for Ableism Awareness Month. Have you ever felt unsure how to refer to a person with a disability? For example, maybe you have a friend, a coworker, a loved one, or just a fellow parent like myself, and they may have a disability and you want to refer to them with respect and dignity and in a way that is not ableist or contributing to the ableism in our culture. Here are a few tips that will hopefully guide you through these moments and give you a little bit of framework to help you understand a better, respectful perspective. Tip number one is make sure you put the person before the disability. For example, you would never say, "Oh, the wheelchair user, Joe down the street, blah, 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 blah." That is putting his disability and defining him by that disability by putting it first, before you even mention him as a person. So instead, you would say, "Joe, our neighbor down the street, he's a wheelchair user, blah, 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 blah." You know, that's mentioning him as a person and giving him that respect and dignity first before the disability. Tip number two is be mindful of your language. You don't want to further any negative stereotypes or stigmas within our culture by throwing out slang words or words that today just can be very offensive and hurtful. Some of these words could be like retarded and psychotic and special. I hate special. I know people with physical disabilities don't like wheelchair bound. Let me explain some of these. You may be, say, in a crowded area and having a conversation and you throw out the word psychotic. Even if it's in a joke, be very mindful of when and how and where you use this word, because there are those out there that have what we call invisible disabilities. You have no idea what their disability is and if they even have one. And many people with mental and psychological disabilities find the word psychotic very disrespectful, hurtful, not to mention offensive. So be very careful how you use these words. Most people know today the word retarded is no longer acceptable. They prefer intellectual disability or mental disability. Also, the word special is used a lot. I grew up with that being used a lot in the school system, and I hated it because it highlighted and treated me differently. It saw my disability and referred to my disability first as defining me. So I just don't like that word at all. Also, I know some friends with physical disabilities that don't like the words wheelchair bound because it's limiting, it's negative. First off, for some of them, it is not the chair itself that limits them at all. Instead, they prefer the word wheelchair users. It's much more neutral, it is what it is, and it doesn't have any kind of reflection on limitations. The third tip I would say would be to always refer to the disability directly, correctly, accurately, and don't beat around the bush, making it the elephant in the room. Here are some examples. I don't mind when people say, "Oh, Cindy, yeah, she's legally blind. That's why she doesn't blah, 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 blah." Or, "Oh yeah, Cindy, she has a visual impairment, so she doesn't drive her kids." Those are accurate. Those are words that do describe my disability, and it's putting me first before the disability, and it's also being brought up in a way that is relevant to the statement and conversation. You never want to bring up someone's disability if it's not relevant to the conversation. What I don't like is when people say, "Oh, Cindy, she doesn't see very well," shh, and then goes on. Number one, it's not a secret, so don't make it an elephant in the room. And number two, "she doesn't see very well" is not accurate. I mean, that can describe a lot of people, and they can just simply put on their glasses or contacts and problem fixed. So that is not really a good way to refer to me as someone with my disability. Hopefully, guys, this has given you a bit of food for thought. I hope you like and share this video with your social media circle in our efforts to raise awareness for ableism. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.